Oh, we are live. Welcome to the Battle Pirates Hangout in the Crib. I am the BP Professor, and I brought cookies, and you can't have any. And I'm here tonight with El Jefe, and say hi.
Hello.
And Disturbed One, and Tito is masquerading as BP Crib.
Hi, everybody.
So tonight, we were just going to talk about Foundry Tier 5 and whine and bitch and moan about some other stuff, mostly Foundry related, but we also got the raid preview, so we'll be talking about some of the prize blueprints from the raid preview. I didn't get a chance to play it. Did you guys get a chance to
No,
play
I
it?
watched streams.
Nope, I just watched them online.
Sorry, I was working.
Yeah, I was watching some of the guys that were inside that were doing streams.
Okay. Well, maybe you guys can share some impressions when we get there. But oh, I guess I got to share my screen, don't I?
Well, I was not focused on you yet. Now you are.
Do we need to see the title? The title? All right. A couple quick bug fixes this week. Countermeasure range increasing specials would not increase the range of the trident. And then the second bug fix was not a bug fix, but people were complaining about it, apparently. And Kixeye says it's not an issue. So they didn't fix anything. They just told us it's not an issue.
Well, if it was a bug fix, that's got to be the oldest bug in the game that they actually fixed.
Well, the thing I remember was way back when Fleet number 1 was like slower.
Yeah, and that's the reason that many people got on that slot, the defender of the base, because
Right.
he was never working the officer on that one. That's from the beginning of it.
Yeah. So now they say it's not a problem. And I've never tested it, but I moved my defender to the defender slot. So anyway, no big deals this week, because hopefully you're not depending on Trident for your countermeasures anyway. Okay, so we'll go through Global Hunt really quick. It starts on Friday at noon Kixeye time. So there's going to be megaships on the map. You can hit them for VXP, and they say increased. I don't know how much the increase is. And then a chance at blueprint shards. So even if you beat one of these, you're not definitely going to get a shard. So keep that in mind. And then they're going to cycle through all the big, you call them super halls, over the 4 days of the event. So Protonem, Man-O-War, Ghostcrawler, and Hellstar. I don't know about you guys. I'm only interested in Ghostcrawler out of those.
Yeah, I might try to finish my second one.
Well, you can only finish if you're within 20 shards of finishing.
I'm 24 away.
24?
Yeah,
You
got
have to wait
220.
to finish then.
Yeah.
Or be lucky on the Forsaken mission and get those. No, I think it's not on the Forsaken mission to get, so...
Yeah,
No, I can
Ghostcrawler.
hit dubs to get the other 4 I need.
Okay. Well, anyway, so 1 shard max per target, 20 shards per user per target type. So Disturbed will not be able to finish his Ghostcrawler just from Global Hunt. And there's a limit of 3,500 shards per world per target. Except for the Hellstar, for some reason, they're cutting it off at 2,500. So at some point, your world is going to run out of shards, probably, if people hit these. So yeah, I don't know, I'm not super excited about this.
Yeah, it's not really a reason to play for me. I mean, if you want to do it, then yeah, but... Because you can't get enough shards to make a huge difference. You can get the same stuff from a raid.
I mean, if it really depends on how increased the VXP is. If it's significant, it gives everybody an opportunity that slowly built their, quote unquote, slow built their Apollos to rank them up prior to the upcoming raid.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the best shot for me, trying the BXB, but the shards, starting from zero, not interesting.
Yeah, I saw someone posted that she was able to beat a megaship target with just a Savage Kodiak and one Apollo, and
Yeah,
I think
I
that,
saw that a lady, I think it was in one of the group on Facebook.
yeah, and yeah, with good driving, I believe it. Good driving and a decent build. Some counters and some missiles, and yeah,
Well, I
totally.
saw, I think it was 2 or 3 Apollos in the streams that were testing the new the new targets, the targets from the last raid,
Hmm.
and with 2 or 3 of them, they were able to take, I think it was 8 or 9 blades on each, and 2 of those. Well, I don't know the specials, of course, but with 2 of those Phalanx 4, they were taking the full mega ship down with all the targets and the like, and maybe got 2 hours and a half of repairs one, and the other one I think was under 1 hour. So seems that the Apollo for that target is especially good.
Yeah, I've been sailing around with one as a tank for my rhinos, and it's great. It's really great. Okay, but anyway, that's Global Hunt. And then at the end of the month, it looks like I put 227 instead of 627. But in a few weeks after the raid, they're gonna do this again, except it's gonna be the Artemis, Aegis, and Gamma Behemoth shards that you can get.
Yeah, which I don't know for the Gamma Behemoth, but for the Artemis and the Aegis, I would reconsider if I was them to change those 25 to at least 50, because if not, if you are getting them, let's say by the research from the OPOST, 25 doesn't make you any difference because you get them, you need 250,
Yeah, and you get them
and
50 at a time. Yeah, that
yeah,
doesn't
and
help
get
you.
15 at a time. So having 200 or 225 doesn't get you any difference. You will have to wait till you get research is level 13, so you get the last pack of 15, and then well, you have them for maybe retrofitting if using them in the Foundry if the edges get into the Foundry at any time.
No, I don't think those work in the Foundry. Those are like different.
So so
Oh,
far they are
well,
not there. So far they are not there. I don't know. It was just a guessing there, but if not,
yeah, I don't know.
what's the point of those 25?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the one I find the most interesting, I think we talked about last week, is the Gamma Behemoth for two reasons. One, it has a lower limit of 5, but you get the ship at 10, so you're halfway there just doing this. And foreshadowing to the raid preview, it seems like the Gamma Behemoth and ballistic patrol hulls may have a use again.
Really?
Well, that would make sense since I just finished putting concussive Gatling guns online.
Right.
Well, at least I know that the Behemoth was good if you are using it in the Forsaken mission. Was good in like if you were using the Savage, the damage on the 97s and alike. So for that, maybe you have a use for it.
Well, the Gamma doesn't do the aura. It's the Omega that does the
Is the
aura.
Omega? Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the
It
Gamma is
doesn't.
the one with the crazy, well, what we thought originally was crazy assault deflection.
Right. Oh, and that's what it's good for in the in the raid.
No, no, not in the raid, but as far as the raid prizes go.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's I was foreshadowing the raid preview discussion that we're gonna have.
Roger. Okay. Well, let's move on from Global Hunt. So they updated the Foundry. Um, they added Tier 5, which I'll talk about on the next slide. But just real quick, they did some UI changes. You can see your fragment inventory. You can see I've been kind of busy hitting the various targets because I got a lot of these hull fragments built up. And So you can see that. You can see your hull class, which I didn't grab a screenshot of, and then they kind of did the little alternating colors, I guess, so you can see the difference between the tiers. And then I think this scroll bar is dumb. Why not just make it wider window?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The interesting part of the one you didn't take the screenshot of is the tier 6.
Well, yeah, and they talked about tier 6. Let's just go. Well, actually, before we go to the next slide, I want to talk about these limits, right?
Yeah.
Because now they put limits on the numbers you can hold, and you can only hold 4 of the hull type fragments, which kind of sucks
Wait,
because
4 at a time?
yeah.
So
So
I got 34 computer shards, so.
right. So they said that they're not going to take away shards from the
From what
that
you
you've
already
already
earned.
earned. So you can see I still have 22 interceptor shards.
No, if you have them, you are not going to get them taken away. The only thing is that you will not be able to stock them till you don't spend them all and you get back to below 4.
Right, because I hit a target, I got some Kodiak shards and did not get to keep them. I was awarded them, but I was still stuck at 6. Not that I wanted Kodiak shards, but
Yeah, but I think that sucks because if you cannot collect them, don't you think that would be much better that they just swap them for the tier fragment instead of the whole fragment?
well, so here's the thing. I think the suckage is at a much more fundamental level. Okay, it's fundamental suckage is that you're hitting the same target and you're getting 2 different things that are awarded, but you need both of those things to get to what you want. So you might get a tier 2 assault shard, or you might get an interceptor shard from the same target, but you need both of those things to get the interceptor upgrade. So there's just no point in having 2 different kinds of things, and it just causes players confusion and frustration.
Yeah, I understand. I understand your point as far as the larger construct of how they put this system together. But the limit 4 on the hull type, it seems to make sense to me. Personally, when I was working on the Rhinos, I had at tier 1, I already had 18 hull fragments before I was able to complete tier 1. And I've seen worse examples on the forums, but I do agree with your point as far as the larger construct of why do we have to get 2 types. But the fact that they're sort of fixing it afterwards because people were getting all out of skew as far as their ratio of the 2 fragment types.
Well, I just think it's the wrong way to fix it. The right way to fix it is just get rid of the hull shards. Just have the class.
No, that makes sense to me. I mean, unless they're going to, at some point in the future, have 2 at the same tier level, and then sort of have different targets. But
Yeah.
I don't know if
Okay.
they're going to do it. I mean, it would make more sense just to allow the player the individual choice to decide which one they're going to redeem versus another.
Yeah. Which is how it works if you earn the tier 3 shards and you need it to upgrade either the Kodiak or the Interceptor to R15. Right? You choose which one you want to upgrade. All right. Well, anyway, that's enough complaining about that. Let's talk about tier 5 and 6. Unless we want more complaining about that. No?
No, I think we got 3 or 4 complaints on this one slide, so we've hit our quota.
Hit our complaint quota. Yeah. All right. So they made a big deal. They were introducing Foundry Tier 5. They introduced exactly 1 hull to be Foundry Tier 5, the Citadel. And I find these bonuses kind of mild.
Yeah, they're not. Like, I was expecting something really good, and you log on, and it's like, oh, it's a slight improvement. I mean, it's better than not having them, but it's not something that makes you want to go out and get it.
I mean, I like the splash bonus.
Yeah.
But and then actually when you go from 70% to 75%, that's actually a bigger bump than it looks, because you're letting, instead of letting 30% damage through, you're letting 25% damage through. But you really, I mean, I don't know how many players do, but I didn't build my citadels to get shot at.
I've put missile resistant specials on it, but I haven't put armor on them yet.
Yeah, I put D2V on mine so I can get them in position faster.
Yeah,
well, that was actually my hope, that it would have a combat speed bump or a potential for a projectile speed bump.
Yeah, that would have been nice. And then the other thing about this tier 5 that ticks me off, and I don't know, well, maybe I shouldn't be complaining, but it's going to be kind of tough to get to. I mean, R1 is 38 fragments, and you have to get them from 97s, and so you're getting them 2 at a time. So it's going to be a lot of work to get up to the higher retro levels. I guess that's okay. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, I've already pulled in a few shards just from doing tier 4, but unless you're going after tier 5 each week twice, it's going to take you quite a bit to finish the Citadel.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, how many, I mean, some players are doing 97s easier than others, but there aren't a whole lot of players that are doing them that are going to just blow through them, you know?
And how many players are going to keep on doing 97s after they get their points?
Right, right.
Yeah, and if the payout is just 2-3 for each of them, it can take you forever, because, well, we have seen R4 and R5 how many it requires.
Right. Right.
But if you think back, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, yeah, the Rhino R5 is 196 fragments.
But if you think back to how quickly that we acquired blueprints from hitting cargo/salvages back in the day, that was it was the same sort of long-term arduous process. And we also took damage back then.
You may. I didn't. Yeah.
Well, I mean, back before the Sea Wolves, you took damage on those things. The Sea Wolves let you do them for free. I'm talking pre-Sea Wolf, so maybe that, you know.
Yeah, maybe when I was hitting them with my battle barges.
I used Sea Wolves and Predators of those and did all them, and then tried to auto them with those not the Citadel, the old one, the Floating Fortress with hails and alike, and well, it was working quite good.
Yeah. You weren't using the. I'm sorry, you weren't using the Predator or the Stalker?
The Stalker was my biggest ever build. I made one for trying, and man, when I tried that, trying to do the famous mines before, the first ones that take off, and when I tried that, oh my god, I think it was 1 month I spent doing them, and it was worthless, because by that time they have placed the rockets on the dreadnoughts that were there. So as soon as I was diving just close to them with all my siege cannons, that was useless. They were dying in a second.
Yeah.
So you didn't have the best. So you weren't the best stalker ever.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So let's see. Oh, we didn't talk about Citadel R5 needing tier 6. And you know, I just pasted the screenshot here because I didn't feel like retyping all this. Yeah, so you're going to need tier 6 fragments to get to R5, and you're going to have to buy them in the raid with points. I don't know what to say about that.
I think the raid targets themselves should give out tier 6 fragments.
Yeah, that'd be cooler.
Yeah, at the point of so much cost to do the raid targets, that could be something that they could grade you from, I don't know, those daily targets, for example.
And you know, like, I would like my citadels to be R5, but it's going to take me so long to get them there. Do I really want to spend points on tier 6 fragments? I got to really question that. I don't know. All right, and then the other thing I'm complaining about on this slide, if we're done complaining about the Citadel, is the so they introduced Tier 5, and these 95 Legion Assault forces still don't pay squat. They don't pay the Tier 5 assault tokens you need for a Rhino. So, I mean, I just think it's a terrible thing to release those 95s. Because people hit them and they take damage and they're like, hey, what do these pay out? And I say, they pay out nothing.
Yeah, that's what happened to me last week.
Yeah, and they say, what are they for?
I think they introduced them before adding the DR5 of those missile cruisers and alike. I don't know. Maybe the same way that they added the Citadel, they are going to add something that is assault, and that's where you are going to get the targets. But yes, you are right. If at this point it's not worth, why would anybody hit them?
Right.
Yeah, as far as a larger picture, why don't they have the info button for certain targets, but not all of them that provide Foundry or other unusual, unique rewards. And it would seem like it would clear things up if you could push the info button and say this doesn't give you anything. Because there's other complications that it's created by that. Because when you go to the Foundry, until you figure it out, you click on OK. I click on whatever ship, and I'm like, go to map, and then find target. And sometimes they're like 3 targets stacked on top of each other. So it takes you a little while to figure out what you're actually supposed to hit, because there's only a partial implementation of that information button.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me. Is I was trying to do a Rhino, and there was a 75 and a 97 stacked on top of each other, and I hit the 97.
Okay. All right. Have we done enough bitching on this slide?
I think so.
Yeah. I think we covered the quota for this and the next one.
Okay. Well, I don't know, man.
No, I changed my mind.
I don't think so. So, the raid preview was today. I guess we talked about that at the opening of the show. Again, I was able to get some screenshots from my other players in the community. Thank you, gentlemen. I think Price and Ewok were the sources of the screenshots in tonight's show, so we'll give them little shout-outs. So here's the Vendetta, or at least what I could get out of the Vendetta. You can see it's got 7 weapons and 5 specials and 3 armor slots. It's got mortar and rocket reload bonuses, and it's got remote targeting for mortars. Nice big splash bonus. And then on the defensive side is where it starts to get a little funny. So this huge negative evade bonus that I don't know how you're ever going to get that even close to 0.
You can get it to about 24%.
Positive?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
With a combination of evade bonus, e-armor, speed system 5, and then you add in 1 evade upgrade, and you can get it. I think you can get it to 24. I think is about where you can get it, but nothing crazy.
Okay. And then you've got deflection numbers that kind of are the I'll say the counterbalance to the Vendetta to the Revenge deflection numbers, right? But it's got no deflection against missiles or explosives or ballistics. Okay. And then it's got this thing called a defense handicap. And I think we're pretty sure that what that does is that any defensive specials that add resistance have no effect. So all your resistances just are stuck at 0. And maybe they should have come up with that before they implemented all this resistance bypass, maybe. And then it does have 40% turret defense, and you'll notice, I talked about it last week. It's the 40%. It's not plus 40%. So that's the non-stacking 40%. So if you add siege battery, R15, you only are at 50%. You're not at 70%.
Yeah, currently that hall will not let you, in the preview, currently that hall will not even let you add that special.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can't even add frontline countermeasure system.
Wow, okay. Got really high combat speed, 21.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. And then some of this other stuff, again, I gotta apologize. Some of these screenshots are not so good. So I'll just try and read it to you because I'm sure it looks bad on my screen and it's going to look even worse for you guys on YouTube. So it's a Legion PvP hull that uses explosive weapons. Each time this hull destroys a ship or building, all friendly hulls with the Revenge Bloodthirst ability gain a stack. Each stack increases explosive damage up to a maximum, and this hull does have Revenge Bloodthirst. This ability is unaffected by Cold Snap. The hull features a stacking aura increasing critical chance of depth charges, launchers, mortars, and rockets. This hull is unaffected by defense boosting technologies. That's the minus 100 defense handicap. And then it is fully unreactive. So you guys that are depending on 5 enforcers as your base defense might not like this hull too much. Although if you also have a bunch of executioners or apocs or whatever, you might do all right. So then over here you've got just that friendly field of effect that does affect the resonance trigger, and we'll get to that in a minute. So it's a plus 5% to the critical chances. So that's, I guess, a decent aura. And then the Revenge Bloodthirst. Max stacks 20, stacks per kill 1. Resonance trigger, no. Cold Snap immune, yes. At max stacks, explosive damage 50%, plus 50%. So,
But I'm very confused by that part of the blueprint. They keep on calling it the Revenge Bloodthirst, but yet it appears that the special ability isn't anything like the Revenge Bloodthirst. I mean, even calling it Bloodthirst is confusing enough, but calling it the Revenge Bloodthirst, is there some, I guess this is from the preview server, but it's quite a bit confusing to me.
yeah, I'm wondering if the kill, like if you have a fleet that's mixed of vendettas and revenge, maybe the kill affects both hulls. And that's why they call it the same thing.
But calling the Revenge,
yeah, I agree though.
It's confusing. It's just using, they should have come up with a new word.
Right. So, you guys. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. Are you asking if we have any other questions?
No, I was going to ask if you think you're going to use this, but do we have other questions?
I'm fascinated by the 9,000 radioactive deflection. I mean, do we have anything that does anything close to 9,000?
The Antipode does 24,000 per shockwave.
But aren't shockwaves and
Right.
radioactive separate, or are they the same?
I believe they're the same.
No, they do radioactive damage, so that'll take effect. But it says it's fully unreactive on the.
Well, I'm pretty sure on the stream I saw the first base he hit, it looked like it was getting shockwaves, but I wasn't trying to pay attention to see if it was or not. I just figured with no evade, it was getting shockwaves no matter what.
I mean, maybe if you get a shockwave off of a neighboring ship, like if you're running Revenges with the Vendetta, and then the Revenge gets shockwaved, the damage would carry over to the Vendetta, and this is the mitigation against that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, yeah. So I don't know. You guys excited for this?
Nope.
Honestly, after seeing the streams, no, because you have to make the same use you do for the Citadel with that, because if you try to get into the channel with these ships, they were melted down, because mostly of the ending players that are the ones you want to hit with this, they all have those Executiones and those Apocalypse, and with just those and having no missile and explosive deflection at all, they were melting them down in a moment. And if you have to keep them outside, like if they were Citadels, why do you want them?
Right. Yeah. That's pretty much what I was thinking as well. I've already got Citadels that I run with my Revenge, and these might be a little better, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm not too excited.
Only good thing is if you use them as tanks, because as we saw, those 36,000 armor points they have repair in 70 minutes. So, like, if you use this as a tank in the Forsaken mission, if you don't have anything else, this might work pretty well, I think. But for the rest, I don't see a point on them.
Well, here's the thing. If you don't have Citadels, it's worth getting as it is. I'm pretty sure they're going to buff it. But the only way for me to start building them was if they were to add the original deflection the Revenge had onto it.
Oh, yeah, some of that siege and assault deflection, or
well, no, I'm
like
talking
2000, or
yeah, right around there, 2000, because then it still gets hit, but it doesn't get melted at the entrance like it was in 90% of the bases we saw.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, I was watching this haul in the preview, and you would see the same base get hit by the Vendetta and the Revenge, and the Revenge really outperformed the Vendetta in the bases that I saw. I mean, just because of it's a different bloodthirst, and it doesn't have all the weaknesses that the Vendetta has, but the Revenge originally had those weaknesses. So it's sort of hard to say what to recommend, because they'll probably change it before the raid, and then during the raid, and then probably after the raid.
Yeah. The one thing we were talking about before the show is there is that armor that's going to add deflection, and maybe that'll be useful for this hull, but yeah. You might not want to build these right away, even if you win them.
I mean, the other thing, the useful thing I see with them is the fact that they are fast citadels, which might be very useful in the 97s. They're not meant for that, but if you have a Punisher lead and you got fast citadels moving all around and can avoid the arc and all that kind of stuff, it seems like it could be a very useful hull for that. But again, it doesn't match up with the class type and whatnot, so it's a little confusing that way, since it appears that's the best use of this hull.
Yeah. I like my Citadels. I want to build new ones.
Yeah, I'm happy with mine.
Faster. Yeah.
But you like faster Citadels, wouldn't you?
I would like faster Citadels. I have trouble in the 97s because my Citadels are too slow and my tank gets too close, and then my Citadels get targeted by that Merv, and then they freaking melt. So,
yeah, I mean, you toss on a Speed System 5, and this thing's up to like 30, 38 or whatever. You're going to be those little angry arc missiles, as the other show calls them, is they're not going to catch them.
I don't have
All
any
right,
issues
well,
with arc missiles.
well, I'm I'm just no good.
What does that mean?
I don't know. You know what? I pinched the island today, and that worked pretty well. So yeah, I'm still working on my technique, I guess.
Okay.
All right, let's move on. Firestorm, the new weapon. So it's a combo rocket mortar weapon, which I guess is kind of cool. So it's got this primary rocket mode, range 68, damage pretty good, I think. I'm gonna have to do some comparisons against the weapons we know, but
It's
seems
very
pretty
similar
good.
to the it's very similar in the normal in the just the normal DPS versus the Judgment Mortar, but as you see, it's got a faster reload time and a higher salvo. So if you're going to be going against anything with assault deflection, it's going to be way less effective than the Judgment Mortar. And also, it doesn't have the hot MERV on MERV action that the Judgment Mortar has.
Yeah, yeah, those mervs are hot.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't have any hot chick picks this week. I'll just apologize now. There's none coming either. So
Yeah, I was wondering why I couldn't reading all the slides this week, and now I know why. There was no distractions in between.
sorry. I'll try to distract you next week. Promise. Um, raid week, you know. Yeah. So I don't know. Again, you know, I didn't see the preview. What did this weapon look like? What did you think? What did you guys think?
It looked
it
like the
was.
Judgment Mortar for the most part.
It has
Okay.
twice the reload time, or half the reload time. It fires twice as fast. But yeah, as far as the damage against buildings and whatnot, it's blowing everything up.
Did
And
the
very rare,
projectile
very,
speed look about the?
as far as I could tell, it looked about the same. I never really saw that many people that actually engaged the coaxial part of it, where they were actually using the rockets. Did anybody else see that in action?
Not really, because everybody wanted to, stand off and fire with it and not rush into bases. I think Liam did it once. He tried to point click to do a base, and it did decent damage.
Okay.
But as the ship was melting, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, he only got halfway through
I
the
don't know.
channel.
Yeah, halfway through the channel and he was meltdown. And they did damage, but I think that he was unable to kill any of them forces that were there with those rockets. So it's not likely those old infernos and all that stuff when the hellfires were ruling the seas. So not nothing significantly powerful.
Did anybody? I mean,
I'm,
I didn't see it on any of the streams that I was watching, but did anybody see anybody strap this on a revenge?
I don't. They were just all trying with a new hull and then
Okay.
adding revenges to be the spotters for trying to do bases, but I didn't see any other hulls using this weapon.
Yeah, because it seems like it's like a combo weapon that could do well close up, but it's not
yeah.
really a close up haul, and the revenge might. The revenge is more of a close up haul.
Well,
You
also
know,
the
the,
Right.
thing
And
about what I'm looking at is the weapon has a level of 3, I think, and Drat coaxials will shoot it down, won't they? Because it says it counters rockets.
yeah.
yeah.
I'm wondering, you know, maybe some of these other new, you know, mortar hulls and stuff, you know, like the Berserker or some of that stuff that just went in the Foundry. I wonder if this would be useful for that.
It'd probably do pretty good on some of them. I was thinking for like mid levels who might have it, a Gore Saber would do well on those.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then the resonance capacitor. Um, so a new version of the resonance battery. provides
Yep.
these attributes as long as the ship is within range of an aura, and then each aura stacked will give an additional %. So it gives a 36% damage bonus, 50% turret defense, and 20% combat speed. And then I guess you get an extra 8% of that if
Per
you get
stack,
multiple
yeah.
auras. You know, the problem with the original resonance battery, well, there were two problems. One is it was hard to find a aura that was friendly that you actually wanted. And then the other one was it was tough to find a special slot for this. Right?
And the third problem is they made a lot of the auras ignore the resonance battery.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's I guess the new stat on the that aura on the Vendetta
Vendetta.
will turn this thing on. But I don't know. I'm not super excited for this one either.
I mean, I might use it if my Aegis field and guard will help, simply for the bonus damage on it.
The Aegis field does not. Well, yeah, I know the Aegis field doesn't kick on a resonance battery, but I don't know about the capacitor.
Yeah, see, that's what I gotta look into, is what field does it. 'Cause I don't feel like taking a ship out of my guard to add a monarch in it.
Right. Well, I'm wondering if the Vendetta would be any good on defense.
I don't think so. A few days of your cutters will knock it right out. Because you can't build the defense
Yeah.
up at all.
Yeah, good point. Okay. So another raid prize we're not excited about?
Well, this is prior to the two buffs that are going to happen before, a week after the raid.
Yeah. I mean, do we think we're 0 for 3 on excitement on these prizes?
Yeah.
I'm kind of 0 for 3. Jefe?
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, the only use I see of it is what I talked about earlier was the 97s as far as having a fast citadel, and just hoping that it's fast enough to just get out of the way of everything. If you got something that's chucking mortars at 190 that has a 38 combat speed, seems like there's some uses for it.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, how about you, Disturbed? You 0 for 3, or are you excited about something for this raid?
None of it's really grabbing my attention at all. I mean, the Renaissance Capicator, unless the Aegis field affects it, I won't be interested in it. Because I've already got Citadels, and I don't even have Revenges built. I got one, but I don't need new stuff to build. I've got too much stacked up already.
And then how about you, Tito? Excited for this?
To be honest with you, I will watch what are the alternative prices, and then I tell you if I am excited or not. If not, honestly, I could skip the whole raid. I don't see any of these things for my my current status in the game to be any worth for me, because to use the resonance you need a good haul with at least 5 specials, and there are not that many on game, and probably you will have to use other uses to do before that. And for the ship, I told you the only thing for me was good enough is that was 36,000 armor points that you can heal in 1 hour and 10 minutes. For the rest, I don't see the whole, and I don't know how to use that as a tank besides the Forsaken mission. So just a whole Forsaken mission, I prefer to build something that can do other chores rather than just Forsaken missions.
But as a disclaimer, we saw what happened to the Apollo. We saw what happened to the Revenge. I wouldn't skip
Yeah.
it because I wish I had the Apollo now, but especially after they took it from a 1 armor point per second haul to a um, to 1 second or 0.45 seconds to
Yeah, about
um,
2.5.
yeah. I was doing the opposite, but yeah, it's easier to say it the way you
Yeah.
did. Yeah, it's 2.22, 2.22 armor points per second for the Apollo. That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm doing some build tweaks for the Forsaken mission now, and I
Mhm.
was kind of not sure what I was going to build next, and I didn't want to start anything big, because I wanted to see what this Vendetta was going to be like. I didn't want to tie anything up through the raid. So now I'm thinking maybe I'll just finish an Apollo fleet. I mean, I got one that I love. Maybe I'll just build up a bunch more with actual missiles on them instead of just a tank.
Yeah, you maybe do this type of race pretty easy if you finish that fleet.
Well, even the tank plus my rhinos, I think I'm going to do pretty well in this raid. All right, move on. This week's kick size screw up. I mean,
only this week, good.
I don't know, I haven't had a whole lot the last couple weeks, but so I focused on the Foundry.
Yeah, I can say you that the Foundry is pretty good for people that like me that want to catch up. But man, it's likely get this and this and this, and when you realize you don't have hands, feet, mouth, or anything else to keep grabbing stuff.
Hello? Did somebody drop out?
I'm not sure if Larry dropped out or not.
Yeah, the slide disappeared.
He's back.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Yeah, that was weird. I lost internet for a second there. Here, I'll go back to the screen share. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys were talking about chores out of control.
We weren't sure what was going on there for a second, but go ahead.
Yeah, anyway, so I was Jefe, you got this post from a couple months back that someone was worried that chores were getting out of control with this Foundry. That, oh, this is stuff you're already going to be doing. But I think it's not stuff we're already doing.
Is it Larry that's having the issue, or is it me?
I think it's Larry.
I think it's Larry.
Okay.
His connection is going.
Larry, let me take this. You're having a bit of a wah moment right here. Oh, now the slide's gone. I mean, basically, I think the issue is that originally the whole Foundry idea was based on the fact that you would be gaining ship fragments, assault fragments, siege fragments, whatever, by doing your things you would normally do. But what's happened at this point is with the new, the 75s, if you're working on the rhinos and things of that nature, these are completely outside of the realm of what we were. There's no other benefit besides gaining these Foundry fragments, and so it seems like the chores have come back and have actually been increased by this. And then also, if you add in the Foundry Hyperion and whatnot. But the Foundry isn't really what it was originally stated to be by Kixeye. Are you back, Larry?
I don't know. Am I back? Do I sound okay?
Yeah,
Yeah, you
now you
sound good
sound
now.
perfectly well.
You sound good now.
Okay. No, I think you said it just right, Jefe. Definitely. I mean, if you're trying to get the mega hull started, gantry, it's a chore. You got to get up to red. You didn't. Actually, I think the one thing you didn't mention was, you want to get the sector bar up so that when you're grinding away at these foundry targets, you're getting more points. And I don't know about you guys in sector, but we get on, we're like, hey, we want to get the sector bar up. Who needs uranium? And it's just like crickets. So you just grind away at armadas just to get the sector bar up, so you don't feel like you're wasting your time doing these things, and then you got to grind away at the foundry targets.
Yeah, I could link them all. So if you do one of the others, you could keep going with that level up and not just doing this just for nothing. Or just instead of having different targets to do these things, do sort likely the mines. The mines were providing you something for the foundry, and also you were getting those base parts that helped you to change those turrets faster. But when you are doing the foundry targets like the legend targets to get your rhinos better and stuff like that, you only get that. You don't get anything extra.
Yep.
They should make the Legion targets pay out uranium.
Or get better, or maybe get more BXP, so you could get two things in once, likely with the rest of the targets, not just one thing for a single thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll tell
it
you what,
seems
though,
like there needs to be something else.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
sorry, go ahead.
that's what was described. Yep. All right. Are we enough time bitching about this screw up? Okay.
Yeah.
Breakthrough. I'll just say this chart is my screw up because this would have been an excellent opportunity for a hot chick. So I'll take this slide as my screw up this week. But I don't have any breakthroughs from Kixeye this week. I don't know. Do you?
Well, I think that somebody said here on the chat, and I agree with him, that since that research book that doesn't let you start has been remaining with us long enough that Kixeye could have already fixed it, and you don't see anything likely they are working on it, or they have a release
That is
patch
an
day for
excellent
that.
that is an excellent point to bring up, actually. And just in case there's anybody watching who doesn't know what you're talking about, there have been a lot of players lately that have been stuck at a at an R&D level, and there's no R&D level in particular that's broken. It's just at some point a player will finish an R&D and they'll do the prereqs for the next one, and they'll find they can't start it. And the only way to get it fixed is to file a ticket and let support do something to fix it. And the players that have not spent their $50 and are not eligible for support are just out of luck, and they can't do R&D anymore. And I totally agree. That's a huge screw up. It's been around for a while, and Kixeye damn well ought to fix it. All right. Do we have any good things? No.
I like how you can see all your inventory shards at once, but it's not something I wanted, but it's nice. You know.
I don't even think it's that good. I don't want to see them all at once.
I
don't know.
I mean, I'm trying here, okay?
Okay, all right. I see. All right. Thank you for your positivity and your effort to find something nice to say.
They did add a new CM, it appears.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You talking
well,
Scarlet?
No, besides Scarlet.
I don't know the name. I read it today in the forum.
Yeah, I mean that could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Just
I mean, hopefully this one won't call people's dicks and then ban them from forums.
oh, anybody, it's Parazad. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but Parizad. But yeah, anybody that gets banned from forums deserves it.
Okay. For
No,
those that
just
don't know, Jefe is banned from forums.
yes, but they all deserve it.
Okay.
We had 4 people banned for posting a battle log of the mod space getting destroyed by one ship.
Yes.
That is not fair. That should make the moderator just get rid of those rights they have, because that is not something that is against the rules, I think.
I was asking
Yeah,
about
battle
assault
logs.
deflector bypass, so sometimes you get on the touchy subjects they don't like.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I got one more slide. We thought we were going to end up with a short show tonight. We're actually almost at an hour. But it was suggested by one of my co-panelists that I do a little thing tying back to the blog. So my last blog post talked about revenge and repair times on the revenge. So this is sort of a chart summarizing the article, and this is actually good to know because the same effect is gonna kick in on the Vendetta if you choose to build one, and it's going to be even more so on the Vendetta because if you've got a Revenge and you build the bear hull, you've got 22,000 health and you've got an hour and 10 minutes of repair. So if you're talking about 1 health per second being the nominal repair time that was around from the start of the game, and then more recently Kixeye has jiggered that up to reduce repair times. You see the bare hull, right? So hour 10 minutes. So now instead of 100% repair, the bare hull is at 19% repair. So you can take more damage points and still repair them in the same time as some other hulls. A lot of hulls right now are around 80%, just as your point of reference. Earlier in the show, Hefe talked about how the Apollo is at 45%. But now as you start adding weapons that add health and add repair time, that average repair percentage starts going up. So you put on, in my case, I put on 7 Gatlings and a U launcher for spotting. And so that adds an hour to my repair, but only adds 4,000 health. So now my repair is 29.3%. So it's gone up by a lot. And then if I add armor, my evade armor, that bumps up my repair time even more. My health, I'll say some, but less. And now my repair percentage is up to almost 35%. So I've nearly, cut my repair speed in half from a bare hull. So it's something to think about. You want to add these weapons, and Gatling guns are great on a revenge, so it's worth it. But especially this new Vendetta, right? It's going to be 36,000 health for an hour 10 minutes. So that's going to repair really fast, but if you start putting armor on it, it's going to slow you down a lot.
Yeah, the armor is
So
the big thing. The
about
concussive Gatling guns are very repair efficient, but none of the armors are.
Hefe, I did see it. I think the published time on the blueprint is wrong. It's 8 minutes,
Oh,
not 2 minutes.
okay, all right. Oh, that makes
So
more sense.
yeah, they're not that great, but
Okay.
they're. I mean, to me, the guns are worth it because they're really nice weapons. But it's something to watch. Don't throw on armor just to throw on armor. And then the other thing I said in the article, right, Streamline Cadmium has that 50% or 40% repair modifier, And the whole idea of cadmium is to reduce your average repair time. But if you put that cadmium on this hull, it actually increases your average repair time. So don't do that.
Yeah, and the streamline cadmium is 50, and then the normal cadmium is 40.
Okay. But either
And
way, it's
but
going to slow you down.
yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying that there's two different. They've split them into two different
Yeah.
classes. But there's also some hulls out there for like the mid to lower levels where they've done some similar things to what they've done to the Revenge.
Well, so you got to be careful though, okay? The other thing to think about is the repair modifier, okay? So even though this has this 19%, its repair modifier is still 100%, and that's why these weapons take their full speed or full amount of time. Now, if you have these small hulls that have a repair modifier of like 50% or 25%,
I'm
then
not
that
talking.
also affects
Mhm.
the stuff you put on. So watch for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I wasn't talking about the repair modifier ships. I was still talking about the repair associated with the armor inherent with the hull. Um, like the
Oh,
Revenge
okay.
is
What other hulls are good?
0.19. The MCX after the buffs and changes, from what I can tell, is 0.27 if the blueprints are correct.
Oh wow.
The
Okay.
DNX is 0.40.
Right.
Like I already mentioned, the Apollo is 0.45. The Kodiak is 0.58. Most hulls are 0.80. The Savage Kodiak is still 0.80. It did not get that repair efficiency that the Kodiak did.
All right. That's
So
all
that
pretty
was my
cool.
little
Good to
side
know.
project. That's my little side project for the week.
It's nice. I like it.
Hmm.
We'll have to get you making actual slides next week.
Well, if you
Nice.
can let me, I can do it. But the other thing is, it's odd how the armor gets split. The armor plates get split into two different, basically three different classes. And it's odd the way that I see it's done. Your M armor, your C armor, your missile armor, your explosive armor, your ballistic armor, they're at point 0.6. Then you got, but then you got your P, which is like sonar enhancing, N was, I don't know, I think it's map speed, and T is like turn speed. They're also at point 0.6. All the rest of them are at 0.8. Um, that I can tell, like compound plate, your evade armors, even your V armor, which nobody uses, your
I use it.
shock plate, your D5R, all those are at point 0.8, which are a higher multiplier than your basic, your original damage types, and then those weird ones that nobody actually uses anymore. It's sort of a mishmash, but the worst armor to use ever is.
I know the answer.
Go ahead.
Oh, DU4. I didn't want to spoil it because I saw your spreadsheet.
Okay, no, I'll let you answer. Yeah, the worst one to use is your research armor, which is a 1. I mean, it's you think they should give those kids a break, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, give the noobs a break.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else we want to talk about this week? Yeah.
No, I think we just covered it all.
Okay. Well, hopefully you guys lasted through all of our bitching to see this last bit, which was hopefully helpful. But
Yeah, and I think this what you provided here also applies to the Apollo. If you can make it through for the raid, if you can make it through a single target without any additional armor, either don't put any additional armor on it or put the smallest plates possible on your Apollo to get whatever enhancements that you want. You know, if you want to evade or whatnot, don't put the D5E on, because you're really going to screw with your repair times.
That's
but if
right.
you put the D2E on, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was about to say that's exactly what I did. My Apollo tank has all D2E because I wanted the extra evade, but I didn't want to push up my repair times too much. That's exactly what I did. Love it.
So we're gonna call this new thing repair efficiency.
Sure.
Okay. Just so we can talk about it in the future and have like a common it's basically how long it takes to repair.
In the article, I called it effective repair modifier, and actually I don't like that phrase because it's still too close to repair modifier. So I like repair efficiency.
Yeah, because the repair modifier
affects
that
everything.
Impacts everything that you put on the hull. So yeah.
Yep.
It makes them much more complicated. This game is getting very complicated at this point.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's all say goodnight and call it a night. What do you think?
All right.
Yeah, we can do that, I guess. Okay, good night, everybody. Thanks for coming, and I hope you enjoyed it, got some good info, and see you next week.
Good night.
Good night.